Yes, she is AI, but not in the way that the internet thinks. This is Kizuna, a Japanese VTuber. In fact, she's regarded by many to be the grandmother of all VTubers, the OG. She was the first to really popularize the entire virtual creator thing all the way back in 2016, 10 years ago. Like, she literally coined the term virtual YouTuber.
VTuber, Kizuna です。
And now she's in Fortnite? Huh? Yeah, that's actually kind of crazy, bro. So what did I mean earlier about her being an AI? Well, it's because her character's story is that of an AI, an artificial intelligence.
実は私 AI なんです。
But behind the scenes has always been a real, breathing, flesh and bones human performing her. However, that decision to make her an AI whilst keeping the real human behind the scenes, well, that's the very foundation of how VTubers work, even to this day. If you've been around VTubers long enough, her name and that iconic headband might ring a bell, but if it doesn't, great, because that's exactly why this video exists. So if Kizuna isn't, well, AI, but is actually a VTuber, then what is a VTuber and why do so many people want to become one? My name is Zekoz and I like to make no BS VTuber guides speaking from my own experiences. Let's get into it. So WTF is a VTuber and why on earth is Kizuna now in Fortnite? Well, first of all, Kizuna is in Fortnite because Epic Games is adding her in as a skin. Yes, I'll be getting this skin and no, you can't stop me. But kinda like how you become a character in Fortnite by equipping their skins, a person can become a VTuber character through the use of motion tracking technology. And the cool thing about this is that whilst many are content creators, being a VTuber doesn't always mean that you have to be. You'll see what I mean in just a bit. The virtual avatars or VTuber models are commonly found in the wild as two main types, 2D and 3D. Depending on what's chosen, the type of content could be very different. 2D VTuber models are by far the most common, popularized by large VTuber agencies like HoloLive and Nijisanji for their eye-grabbing anime-inspired designs. The way they're made is really interesting. 2D VTubers are meticulously hand-drawn layer by layer by a skilled artist, then brought to life by a rigger in live 2D. If the artist's job is to design the car, then the rigger's job is to engineer it so that it actually runs. So in the case of VTuber models, they're in charge of making the static images move by twisting and turning and warping every layer to create the illusion of movement in 3D space, fooling your brain to seeing more of a person rather than just artwork. Once they're done, they hand it over to the VTuber, the person behind the camera. The finished VTuber model is then imported into the tracking software like VTube Studio, now allowing for a real human to perform as their character. And the way it works is that VTube Studio tracks your real-time facial movement using a visual feed from your webcam or your phone. It detects your face, puts a bunch of tracking points on it, and then uses that data to make the character act shocked, smile, or bombastic side-eye. People like 2D because you have more freedom with the art style and they don't require as much extra equipment like 3D does. The model you get can then be used wherever and however you want, be it for YouTube videos, streaming, or even just hanging out online on Discord or on VoopChat. For many, this is basically their face on the internet. That being said, if you noticed her model, Kizuna doesn't actually look 2D. Well, that's because she's actually 3D. So how are those made and how do they actually differ from 2D? In terms of the creation process, 3D VTubers are actually quite similar to 2D. A reference sheet is drawn, handed over to the 3D artist who then makes and paints the model before handing it over to the rigger. But unlike live 2D rigging, the 3D rigger basically just gives the model a skeleton. It doesn't need to be warped and deformed because it's already in 3D. Once they're done, they hand it over to the VTuber who also uses tracking software. However, the key difference here is that 3D models also allow for full body tracking instead of just facial tracking. Extra sensors are put on key points of the body, which lets the VTubers do stuff like this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm wondering if Fillion is still going to be feeling as confident. As you mentioned, she was during that interview, maybe so. The tricks of this would suggest so.
Pretty cool, right? And that's exactly what people love about 3D. Even though it's more equipment heavy and maybe a bit more expensive, it really allows you to embody your virtual self and interact with these cool, awesome virtual worlds. Okay, that explains virtual models and how they're made. Great. But why do people even want to become VTubers in the first place? Aren't they like cringe and weird and only used by 40-year-old overweight weebs with neck beards and a voice changer? Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but that's not the case. Though I can see why it might be cringe to some people, especially for those who are not in the know, and honestly, I don't really blame you. It's basically a whole other crazy world. But I hope that listening to this cringe guy for a few more minutes will help give you a little bit more understanding. And hey, if you still find it cringe by the end of the video, then fair enough. I appreciate you hearing me out either way. So with that said, here's 3 big reasons as to why people become VTubers. Number 1, we can be whatever the fuck we want. The first point is probably the most obvious. We're using virtual avatars to represent us online. And because it's all virtual, we can basically choose whatever the fuck we want. You want to be a cute anime girl? Sure, go ahead. You want to be that one meme dog with a long nose? Yeah, why not? Let me do it for you. Or how about a f***ing lime? The point is, you are given the freedom to be whoever or whatever you want. Some even go as far as to create backstories for their own character, which we like to call VTuber lore. This is the reason why Kizuna is an AI, because that's her lore. And for those who take the more business approach, the lore basically serves as the foundation for branding. Some are sharks that hail from Atlantis, some are sentient beings made out of soup, and I'm a bird who got struck by lightning and lost his wing. The list goes on. That being said, it's important to keep in mind that you don't always have to play your character to a T. In fact, you're never really obliged to. And most people, including myself, just act and talk like how they would in real life. This happens because when VTubers create their characters, there's a tendency to sprinkle in a little bit of themselves into the designs. It could be their sense of style, an accessory, or even a personality trait. And this is why VTuber models can be a very, very personal thing to someone. And speaking of personal, let's talk personal privacy, because that's a big reason as to why people become VTubers in the first place. Anonymity. But with branding. Being a creator online can be really cool, but the problem is that the more popular you get, the more you attract certain types of strange and unique individuals, to say the least. In some cases, this could lead into things like invasions of privacy, stalking, and IRL harassment. Your personal life becomes a target to those with bad intentions and or unhealthy obsessions. So naturally, the solution would be to go faceless, right? No face, no problem. Well, sure, but now you're just another faceless channel amongst the sea of other faceless channels. You need a way to stand out, and one way to do that is to create a brand. Aha, there's that term again. But do you see where I'm going with this one? Having a VTuber model means having a brand because now the audience has a face to attach to the content. VTubers basically have the advantages of high levels of privacy while still being recognizable to their fans.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
And whilst VTubing can prove as a solution to dangers like stalking, it unfortunately can't cure illnesses. But what it can do is give people another opportunity to achieve their dreams and live a life that they otherwise couldn't. Which brings me to point number 3. We won't let disabilities stop our dreams. It's an unfortunate truth that not everyone in the world is in good health, nor do they have access to healthcare. There are some out there who have passions, dreams, and aspirations that were crushed due to medical conditions that were out of their control. That's just the unfortunate fact of life. It kinda sucks sometimes. But it doesn't mean that it has to stay that way. With enough passion and stubbornness, people will find a way to continue pursuing the things that they love doing the most, even if that thing is just to live life like a normal human being. And if you can't do that in real life, then the next best place is the virtual world. Take Iron Mask for example, one of the biggest VTubers on the planet right now, and my personal favorite, or Kamioshi as we VTubers like to say. Her personal story broke as many hearts as it has touched. She used to be an opera singer in training, but her dreams of the opera were taken away from her by CVID, Common Variable Immunodeficiency. I'm no doctor, so I'll let Mousy explain it to you herself.
What is your condition? I have a condition called CVID. It's called Common Variable Immune Deficiency Disease. It means that my body does not make enough antibodies to fight off viral infections, bacterial infections, can't fight off viruses, can't fight off bacteria. So I need to get donated plasma in order to have a functioning immune system. I need to get a donated immune system, basically. I don't make antibodies. So donate plasma if you can.
If you're wondering why her voice is so high-pitched, it's because her medical condition literally f***ed up her voice. It wasn't her choice to sound this way. VTubing has given Iron Mouse a way to connect to the world, make friends, and make memories. To continue living a life instead of just existing.
The view of the park is nuts. It's beautiful, right?
Yeah.
You okay?
No.
It's okay. Look how beautiful the view is.
I'm glad I could see it like this. At least.
Oh, don't be sad. One day you'll see it in person too.
I hope so one day. It's just nice that there's so many of us like me that can't go out and see stuff like this, and it's nice that we can see it.
It's okay. We'll get to see so many more cool things as well. On live stream and in person. I'm sure we'll get to see some cool things.
I would have never been able to see any of this stuff if I would never started VTubing.
Yeah, isn't that so cool?
Yeah.
That one decision you made to try it out and see what happened, and now you get to see the world. You get to do all these cool things and go all over the world and meet so many cool people. I think that's pretty amazing.
And I'm glad that we met and we're friends.
Oh, gonna make me cry. Me too. You know that. If I hadn't met you, I wouldn't go see the stuff. I'm too lazy. I would not go out.
Yeah.
Damn, isn't that cool?
And through VTubing, she got help with funding her treatments, gradually got better over the years, and with the help of her loving community, even helped raise over $1 million for the charity that provided her with crucial support when she was first diagnosed, the Immune Deficiency Foundation. VTubing has even allowed her to continue pursuing her dreams as an opera singer, maybe not in the way that she initially envisioned, but through a new path that she and her precious family has carved out. What so many people outside of VTubing miss and subsequently never realize is that it's not always about escapism, roleplay, or being a cute anime character online. It's about being given a chance to live a life on your own terms and experience a world that you were never really able to. Everyone's lives are different, unique, and special. Everyone has their own story to tell, and the beauty about VTubing is that it gives you the opportunity to tell your own story in whatever way you want. So when people say that Kizuna is AI, they are wrong, but they're also accidentally pointing towards something real just hidden away. Behind all of that lore, behind the virtual model, and behind the computer screens are real humans telling their own stories, just through a virtual body. So let me ask you this. Did this video help you understand what a VTuber is and why people want to become one? Are you interested in becoming a VTuber even? Do you have a story that you want to tell? Ciao.